Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chishu Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
She's single and ready to mingle. Woman explains just what exactly she brings to the table. No more wasting time, man. Let's get it.
So what do you bring to the table?
Okay. I guess I'll indulge this question. What do I bring to the table? Well, let's see. I have 2 degrees, meaning I have accredited credentials in a dynamic industry, which promises me job security from now into the future. I'm very financially literate. Everything in my apartment is my own, even the car that I drive. I work really hard to pay everything off on time so I can build really great payment history and build my credit up to a point where I can buy a really nice home for.
All right, guys. So first of all, what a start, right? The first thing she said is, I'm a PhD. I have degrees. But something I want to point out here that I see women do all the time is they'll say things like, I own everything in my apartment. Do women realize that they sound like children when they do this? No, listen, I'm trying my best to not be disrespectful, but I'm 800 videos in. It's too late. It's too late. But this sounds like a child, especially women who brag about being responsible for their own things. Like, oh, I own everything in my apartment. When's the last time you've heard a guy talk about him owning his apartment or talking about how he pays his rent on time? Only a bum brags about doing the bare minimum. I'm talking about especially when it comes to guys, right? They'll brag about shit they know they should be doing. Man, I pay all my bills. You're supposed to pay your bills, bro. Who's going to pay your bills? You're supposed to pay your bills. But a lot of women, even the really successful ones, they brag about basic things like, I own 2 cars. It's like, they'll brag about really basic things like, I pay my rent, I pay everything, I pay my car note. Like, welcome to adulthood. And you know what else adults do? They drink coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Back into it.
For a really great price in the next 5 years. I enjoy cooking. I love to clean up, make my house feel like a home.
Okay.
I'm a very disciplined woman. I get to the gym every morning to ensure that my
cooking, cleaning, the gym. Now we're talking about things that men care about, right?
my mind and my physical is right. I have natural beauty, pretty white smile, long natural hair, and a dump truck on my back if I do say so myself. And finally, you know what they say, lady in the street, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Just some soft skills. I'm funny, I'm personable, I'm open-minded, a great conversationalist, and I'm a great problem solver. I'm loyal, and I just really, really, really love being committed to the person that I'm with. And I just, yeah, that's what I feel like I bring to the table.
But do you submit though?
Huh? What are you talking about?
All right, guys, you heard it for yourself, and here we have another modern woman. But she says she's great at solving problems. Well, what about the problem of not having a husband? She also says that she's great at being committed, but is not in a committed relationship. But listen, as always, the internet reacted and had a lot to say about this particular video. First comment comes from a woman, and it reads, why are some women answering this question like him asking isn't a red flag in and of itself? And she responded back to that commenter and said, LMAO, it's just a joke about how men glaze past redeeming qualities in women and ask irrelevant ASS questions instead. So I will agree with this. I think if you're a guy and you're going out on dates and asking women what they bring to the table, then you know that is weird to do. A lot of guys think it's not weird, right? And you completely put yourself in the place of socially awkward. And if you support asking that question, right when you meet a woman, that just lets me know that guy isn't very socially aware. That's not how people talk. Right? That's not how men talk on dates. But I will say this, it doesn't mean that you can't observe what she brings to the table. It doesn't mean that you can't have conversation. And within that conversation, depending on how she presents herself, know what she values, and in turn, understand what she actually brings to the table. You get me? I don't think I need to explain this to most people. Next comment here from another gentleman says, take out the first 2 things, we don't care. And of course, he's talking about her degrees, which she was bragging about. And also how she owns everything in her apartment, which is, good for you. And she responded and said, LMAO, that's actually insane. And that's why women would prefer to be alone. Cause, Great. Problem solved, bro. Problem solved. Here's the truth. If you want to be a woman who believes that your money makes a difference, whether a man wifes you up or not, and you refuse to believe men when they tell you this is what we as men like, you ignore them. It blows my mind that every time men say, we don't care about these things, what are women's responses? They say, well, that's why we'd rather be alone. They want you to care about what they care about, right? They want to tell a man what he should want instead of adjusting to qualify for that man. Sympathy goes out the window, especially for, this chick and other women who think like her. It's entitlement of the highest order. Next comment here says, learn from her mistakes. With the laughing emoji, the answer is always to bring what her man wants you to bring. That's the only thing he values. Facts. Think, he says, use your head. Okay? I didn't know they had that think emoji with the finger pointing up to the head like that. I'm gonna need to get on that. But yes, what do men want? Specifically, what does the man who you're attracted to want? A woman is supposed to learn to love you properly. See, those are the words that women want me to use instead of me saying a woman's supposed to learn how to serve her man. Why? Because you serve her, right? You serve her on a daily basis with protection, leadership, qualities, etc. But no, for a modern woman, it's this is who I am and I'm not willing to change for anyone. Red flag. Next comment here reads, is it wrong to ask a woman what she brings to the table? Again, I kind of touched on that earlier. I don't think it's necessarily wrong, assuming that you're going to ask a woman today what she brings to the table and you're meeting her on the first date and she's going to mention things and she's going to be 100% honest with you and keep it real. Is just too far of a stretch. She's not going to keep it real, man. You're better off observing women. You're better off paying close attention to what they value, what they spend most of their time consuming on a daily basis, and getting to know them over time. She'll reveal herself eventually. Next comment from another woman here says, then he gets angry because you have credentials and think you're all that. With the laughing emoji, and she responded to that and said, LMAO, literally with the exclamation marks. Then they start saying degrees and money doesn't matter with the angry faces. They be hating on my mama. Yeah, again, back to the data on this one. Most women whose credentials improve, women who get promotions in jobs, women who pursue higher education, usually end up thinking they're better than most men they come across. And listen, for most of these women, you would think that they're making more money and you would almost want to blame the system, right? And say, okay, well, she is making more money and that hypergamy nature is kicking in. So of course she wants a man who makes more than her. It's female nature. But a lot of times it's not even that. She could literally have 5 degrees and is barely making it. But those degrees in her mind actually make a lot of women think that they deserve better than they actually do, right? Your credentials that you earned at your job or that you got at your college don't mean shit when it comes to attracting men, especially men of a higher socioeconomic status. Another comment here from a woman reads, when men ask, do you submit? Follow up with, do you? Men fail to realize they have to submit themselves to God first before worrying about whether we do or not. Okay, so we have a Christian woman here who says, do you submit to God? If you want me to submit to you, then I need you to submit to God. And why would a woman want this? Well, a woman would want this because most churches today, most Christian institutions have been extremely feminized. She knows if you submit to God, aka her pastor, right? She's not talking about that red pill Bible. No, she's talking about churches. She's talking about men, pastors who simp and pander towards women. And she knows that if you say, oh, I'm a good church boy, I go to church every day, and I meet with my pastor for advice once a week, she knows that she can trust that guy to make sure that he's feeding you that female empowerment Kool-Aid, which usually isn't biblically based. Next comment here from somebody else says, I tell them I bring nothing with the laughing emojis. I like to see what they will say. So it's a game for you, huh? It's a game for you until it's too late. Listen, guys, as always, I'm curious to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.